Secretary of State John Kerry explaining why the U.S. abstained on a UN vote condemning Israeli settlements in occupied land. Watch this.
There are a similar number of Jews and Palestinians living between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. They have a choice. They can choose to live together in one state, or they can separate into two states. But here is a fundamental reality. If the choice is one state, Israel can either be Jewish or democratic. It cannot be both.
The Israeli government has slammed Kerry for his speech. President-elect Trump, siding with the Israelis, says that they're being treated unfairly. Roll that.
I think you know what I believe. I'm very, very strong on Israel. I think Israel's been treated very, very unfairly by a lot of different people. You look at resolutions in the United Nations, you take a look at what's happened. They're up for 20 reprimands, and other nations that are horrible places that treat people horribly haven't even been reprimanded. So there's something going on, and I think it's very unfair to Israel.
Well, guess who's just joined us? In studio, no less, Congressman Louie Gohmert, Republican from First Congressional District, I believe, isn't it?
Number one.
There you go.
Number one in your heart.
You're going to stick around, too. Great to have you here.
Great to be here. It's always great to be had, especially.
Always. Thank you very much. All right, you watched John Kerry there, and you probably saw his speech yesterday. What was your impression?
It took me right back to the Seinfeld episode where George Costanza figures out that if he just will do everything opposite, he'll be right on everything. But this administration has never figured out what George Costanza did, that they're exactly wrong on everything. They're doing what might be called gaslighting. Oh, you think Israel is our friend? No, they're our enemy. You think we should worry about Iran? We're going to give them money. We're going to help them. I mean, whatever they do, they try to get you to think you're crazy, that the opposite is really true. I mean, for heaven's sake, with all of the damage that this administration has done in the Middle East, I mean, you know, saying that the Muslim Brotherhood president in Egypt was the right person, well, no, the opposite's true. You don't want a Muslim Brother president there. Saying we have to take out Gaddafi and create chaos there, no, the opposite is true. You don't take... I mean, this administration has been the opposite of right on every issue, and turning on Israel at this point, it just is, unfortunately, icing on a very explosive cake.
But Donald Trump's coming in 20-odd days.
Yes.
And you're hopeful that that can all be turned around.
Well, I'm not just hopeful. I mean, this week my staff and I are working on a couple of bills. One, to hold back any payments whatsoever to the UN until they rescind the vote that Obama apparently pushed.
Because the U.S. puts in almost 25% of the UN
if
budget.
We're not there. And then also looking at, and I looked at the situation of the UN. Yes, it's very prime real estate, but apparently the Rockefellers had owned that, and it went to the UN only for so long as it remained the major headquarters. So if we cancel visas for all of the diplomats, then it can't remain the headquarters, and then it goes back to the Rockefeller Foundation.
You're not going to introduce a bill for that, though.
Well, we're looking at it because this is so outrageous. I mean, who would have dreamed that this quickly, less than 75 years after the end of World War II, that we would be moving in the same direction of going after the Jews. I mean, and playing this scenario. Thank God Donald Trump's coming in. We don't have to go there. But hopefully we can undo. The other thing is, and the other thing is to basically take the language the Democrats used in '74 to say it'll be a crime if you use any federal money from any source to continue to help in Vietnam. Well, it'll be a crime if you use federal money from any source to treat the Palestine as an independent state. We need to stop this guy from going the next step and trying to create World War III as he's going out. I know he's the only president we've ever had that think it'd be a promotion to be UN General Secretary. We can't let him You know, we've had firemen that do this. They set the fire, and thank God it's just the tiniest of the tiniest.
And then show up to put it out.
And then show up so they can be the hero.
Right.
He wants to go in as the UN General Secretary, put out the fire that he started.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Louie, you're here for the whole hour, so it's
Scary
great.
stuff, isn't it?
It is.